Hello, 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 everyone.
Hello, hello. My head is shining.
And welcome to Heal My Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Tara.
And my name is Pedro.
That's right.
Why are you tapping me? I know to go next. I'm paying attention.
I didn't mean to tap you.
People can't see. She tapping me on my knee like, go next, go next. I know, go next. Okay.
How you guys doing today?
Yeah. We want to thank you all for joining us on Heal My Marriage podcast.
That's right.
Season 4, episode 13.
That's
right. Unlucky 13,
Mm-hmm.
as some people say. Anyway.
So today's topic, we're going to be talking about dependence versus expectation of your spouse. And we know that we depend on somebody in our lives, whether it's our spouses, our family members, our children, our people that's outside of our retrospectives of marriage and family. So we depend on people, and we have expectations
Our children.
of people, our children, and most of all our spouses, and we suspect certain things and want certain things. So this is something that we wanted to talk about, that I brought to my husband attention, and I said we need to speak on this and talk about dependence and how important it is. Is it a crutch? Do it crippleize you? Do it help your marriage? Do it make it grow? Like, what is it that it does for you?
Mm-hmm.
Do it hurt you to depend on someone that you're not able to do other things? And some people feel like they can't do certain things if this person is not doing it or whatever, or you waiting on them to do it. So so this is, I feel like, me personally, I felt like it was a good topic to talk about, especially in marriage, and to just
Trust me. Go ahead.
and to just see how things would be. Yeah. So, what you think, husband?
First off, I turned down the light for a reason. You'll see later in the podcast why. She doesn't like to be like in the dark. She wants to be in the light.
Yeah.
Have it all bright. But it was like a
it's like glare.
It was it looked like you had a ghost shadow.
So yeah, I don't mind having a shadow.
Nah, didn't look like. Take it off. But dependency versus expectations. You depend to a certain extent one way, and you expect your spouse to be a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about there is a difference. Some people try to say it's the same, but in looking at it, and just from our experience, we know that there's a difference because I depend on you for certain things, but I expect certain things from you as you do me. So
right,
it's definitely a difference in how we handle things and how we do things.
Definitely. And I was looking up a definition about this particular one, expectations. What are unrealistic expectation of your spouse? Unrealistic expectation include things like wanting your partner to change their values, be the source of all of your happiness, or go against their natural masculine or feminine priority. Don't expect your partner to react or feel the same way that you do. And never expect perfection.
Yeah. Because I mean, expectation is you expect somebody to behave a certain way,
and you want them to
right, but you can't expect somebody to behave because we always talk about we have this discussion all the time. We having a disagreement, and you're like, I'm like, well, Todd, is my opinion, is my view, is the way I see it.
Right.
I'm not going to see. You don't expect me to see it the same way that you're going to see it, even though sometimes you want, you do, but it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes I'm not going to see it your same way. I'm going to be like, whatever, that don't bother me. And you're like, why doesn't it bother you? If it bothers me, it should bother you.
Right.
Not necessarily. You can't expect me to be bothered by the same, and it goes the same way for me. Some things will bother me, and then you're just like, well, I think you're being a little bit harsh. And I'm like, what you mean? No, I'm not. No. So I can't expect you to always agree with what I'm thinking. So it goes both ways. So, but you have to realize that in a marriage that you can't expect. And I think you learn that from the beginning of the marriage when you first start dating and you're courting and you're getting to know each other. You learn each other's expectations.
Yeah.
And realize that no matter what you do, you can't the only person that can change that expectation is yourself.
That's it. That's it.
The only way it will change is if I choose to change.
Mm-hmm.
So if I choose to think like you or choose to be mad with you, then I will be mad with you. But if I'm not, you can't get mad that I'm not. Or you can't be like, oh, I can't believe he don't believe or he don't agree with what I'm upset about.
Wow.
Or what I'm thinking about, you know.
Yeah. And I read something that says love doesn't hurt, expectations do.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I you funny you said that because I try not to I read, but you know, like in today's social media, you have so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
And it's just it becomes like overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to take in. So I try not to really look at that stuff too much because the simple fact I want my thoughts to be my own thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we want this podcast, we want this discussion
to be original.
Which, by the way, like, subscribe,
and share
with your friends.
That's right.
And we are on all platforms, social media. We forgot to say that.
That's right.
And also, welcome Adventist Radio London on Sundays at 4:00. Thank you all for joining us.
That's right.
And just want to say that because we forgot to say that.
Yeah.
But on the other end, I forgot my thought when
you were saying looking at social media and how it's
overwhelming. Yeah, it's so overwhelming, and so you got so many different opinions and stuff. So I find that your own opinion and your own values and your own experiences is the best way to learn.
Yeah, because I do believe our needs keep us sane.
Yeah,
I do believe that. Only because we all have needs, and particularly right now, our marriage, and we want our partners to do certain things for us, and it ain't always just sexual. It's just you have needs for financial needs.
Well, I think
different things.
Funny
that you're
you said
looking
that
for.
Because I think the sexual part is the last part because it's just like God doesn't want us to have sex before marriage. There's a reason. So when you meet somebody and you start courting them and you're talking to them and you're getting to know them and you're getting to know the expectations and the dependency of that person, the thing that will make the sex better or make when you do have sex is that you fully know the person. You know, like you fully know the person. The sex comes later. The sex, I think, is like the cake, eating your cake and having it too. Like when you have the sex, then because you know that person, you're in touch with that person, you're connected to that person.
Yeah.
That's what makes it better. When you just go right into having sex and you get you think you love them because of the sex, you have no expectations.
Right. And that's why it's important for us to know the difference between expectations and needs. So expectations are hopes and beliefs that are focused on the future and may or may not be realistic. And a need is something that is necessary for healthy relating or living.
Yeah. Or just like when we met, you expected to have children. And you said to me, I can't mess with you. I can't talk to you. I can't date you unless you're willing to have children. And
because I was not going to
have children. Now, I'm not saying we knew that you was going to have children.
Right.
But you was like, I'm only going to, if you're willing to have more children.
Right.
And that was the expectation that was one of the expectations that you had.
Yeah.
The other expectation was that you wanted me to be able to take care of you. Provide for you. You know, and your parents actually that was their main concern.
Yeah, it was.
Because if you notice, once they realized that I could provide, then they kind of eased up on you a little bit.
They did. What was the expectation you had for me? Did you have any?
No, I don't remember. I guess my expectation that I have for you was to just be a loving person, to love me, because I think not to be overbearing and just to love me for who I was. I'm not perfect, which you actually did. You actually loved me just for who I was, my imperfections and my good and my strong points and my flaws. You didn't break me down. You didn't shoot me down. You didn't chastise me. You didn't make me feel less than a man intentionally.
Right.
sometimes unintentionally you did, but it was more because of your frustration and your anger that you may have had that you did it, but you didn't do it intentionally. I was getting it done to me intentionally, which was breaking my spirit,
Right.
and breaking my mental health and my thought process. So, I just wanted you to love me for who I was and know that if there's a problem, I'm willing to fix it. And that was probably my expectation that I had of you.
Right.
Be honest, when I met you, I didn't know what to expect.
And
And
I don't think we initially know what to expect
right.
from a
So
person when we first meet them. I think we desire what we think we want from a person, but until we actually be with them and really get to know them, in that moment or for the time, then we can kind of see. Wow.
Oh no, you go. Okay, so I was watching the clip, and in the clip, the couple said that he said, "What did you expect to get married to?" And the girl was like, I expected to get like, kind of eclectic, kind of guy, travel, blah, blah, this and do that. And he said, I was thinking I was going to get like a Hispanic girl, be bilingual. We have bilingual children,
Yeah.
we'll, blah, blah, boom. And they were totally off.
They were totally opposite.
Right. He was black, she was black, but she was more light skinned. She was lighter.
Right.
He was a little darker. And they was like, that's totally not what we got.
Right.
So like, I think sometimes we can expect something.
Right.
But we have to let God lead us to what we're supposed to get.
Right. Because I think for me, I had in my mind, now that you said that, I had in my mind I was going to meet this guy that was going to sweep me off my feet, and he was going to have all of this money, and we was going to, and I also thought maybe travel.
No, that wasn't me, that's for sure.
And maybe I was thinking
I wasn't broke, but I wasn't like,
No, but that's not, and, maybe travel and go, and I did travel, so I can't say
we
I didn't travel.
At the beginning of our marriage. We stopped traveling once we had children.
Yes.
To be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair, if we didn't have children, we would have traveled more.
Yeah, we would have.
No, honestly, we would have did more traveling if we didn't have children. It took 3 years to have children.
Right.
But in the 3 years before we had children, we did travel.
We did.
Because we talked about this, that we never, this is going to sound weird, folks, but my wife and I have never been on a plane together.
Right.
In the 18 years we've been together. And we've never traveled together, I should say. Like, she's been on a plane with the kids, or I've been on the train or the plane by myself, or even a train.
Right.
When we have friends come, when we first moved here, we had some friends come to visit.
Right.
You and her took the train, and the children took the train, and I drove.
Yeah.
So we didn't even take the train then.
Right.
Then I said, wait a minute, yes, we have traveled together. We traveled to Bermuda for a honeymoon.
Yeah.
So we did travel on a plane. That one time.
Yeah.
Every other plane ride you've ever had, you've had about 10 plane rides.
Yeah.
It's been by yourself and the kids.
Yeah.
Or with Pedro, then with Sky, then it got more and more as you went along.
It went along, yeah.
But we didn't expect that to be the case. But
right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but I did travel, and so I'm glad I did that. But my expectation was just to have, for me, and then I know I shouldn't have thought this way, to have a perfect husband, someone that's gonna be just whining and dining me and just spoiling me, and you do that. You know what I'm saying? You really do that.
I do it in small ways.
You do it in small ways.
I admit I'm not a big
romantic.
I'm not a big romantic.
And that only came that only came from being a young girl growing up as a teenager, looking at different shows and seeing couples and like, oh, they in love, or then everything in great and everything. But then once I got in it, I realized that a relationship is definitely not based on that. It's based on two people were coming together, working on your marriage, working on each other, and how much you change when you going through dating and courting and then getting married. You're not the same person as time go on. And when you look at that, you have to be able to accept the differences and the changes that you go through and that you see in yourself and in your spouse.
Yep.
And then your expectations even changes. And your dependency even changes. So me depending on you as my husband, for me, you always being there, not just being just a provider, but someone I can talk to and trust and lean on, and
so,
those things. You know what I mean?
Your expectation was that I was going to be emotionally supportive and love and loyal and supportive. Because that's part of expectation.
Yeah.
expectation is that when you with somebody, you expect them to be certain things, and you expect them to be loving and kind. You expect them to be, and the weird thing is that I was that, but then I kind of went through a period where I kind of lost myself for a minute, so I
Right.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
But
But
like
I
we
must
talked
admit,
before,
I did depend on you though. Did I depend on you? I depended on you financially in some way, but when I was working, I was like, at first I was like, I'm not fit to depend on no man because I was
well,
over
that's
there. You
dependent.
don't.
That's later. You're
Yeah, I'm just
jumping.
saying, but I know I'm jumping, but I'm just saying it, but it's relevant. So I was just more saying when you dependent on somebody, and sometimes in a relationship it is financial, or it is an emotional, or it's emotional attachment that you have towards a person. So I think it just, it depends.
As I thought about what that question you just asked me, you know, I expected you to be reliable and supportive
Mm-hmm.
more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Was I
And
that?
yeah, you was definitely that. You definitely have been my ride or die. We've had, you're not always, we're not going, it's not perfect. Like we said, it's okay not to be okay. But my expectation of you was definitely that. I just wanted somebody that was going to be supportive and caring. And, for me,
I was just happy that I was able to go through like small arguments that we may have had and we was able to work it out. My expectation of that was if we have an argument, I want us to be able to work it out and not have a sense of, oh, he gonna leave or she gonna leave. And then you disappointed because now you was hoping that
well, in that
even
way,
though you
in
do
that case,
argue, you
you
can
know
work
what?
it out.
In that
So
case, in the beginning, you did expect me to leave and go back.
yeah, not go back to anyone, but to not be with me.
Right.
Because it wasn't about being with somebody. It was about, I ain't finna deal with this arguing, or I'm not finna deal with this nagging, or I'm not gonna deal with this. So I'm going. Because, some people only want what they want,
Well, the funny thing is, if you expected that, you should have realized from the beginning, from all the times you broke up with me when we was dating, and I still stuck around.
Yeah, but
that I was not,
but you have to remember
that I was not going to leave, because
Yeah.
you tried to get rid of me numerous times.
I did.
Numerous times.
I absolutely
more than
did.
I can count.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that for a while I didn't like giving you flowers. That's a whole nother story we're not going to get into.
Right.
So you remember that day, right?
Yeah.
So you expected me to do that, but then you realize as time went on that I just can't get rid of this guy.
Right.
So then you expected me to, no matter what, I was going to stick it through.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but I think when you expect something, you just expect it to be consistent more than anything else. You expect the consistency in your marriage to be, it's not, like you said, it's not going to be always right. It's not always going to be perfect, but you just expect it to be consistent. And if you can be consistent in your expectations of what you do consistently, then, because like, and the funny thing, I thought about this last night. Something, I don't think I ever did it, but like opening the door for you when you get in the car. You don't expect that, but that don't mean that I can't expect to want to do it for you. So like, doing things like that, opening the door, closing the door, things like that.
Have
like
you done that lately?
No, I did the other day, but
you
I'm
did
just
do
saying.
it the other day, and then I had said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So you was like opening the door. I was like, okay, and that was like, yeah. Okay, I did. I was like, okay, cool.
Because I've always just
I wasn't used to you doing it. We just
always
jump in the car.
Jump in the car. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not something. See, but you didn't expect me from the beginning.
Yeah,
To do that, so I didn't have to fulfill the expectations.
Yeah,
But you expected me to be, like you said, you expected me to be when you're sick.
Yeah,
to take care of you. You expected me when
you think
down,
some expectations are unreasonable though. In that way?
I think if you can go in with unrealistic expectations, like what would be a good example? What do you think? I'm still thinking, because my brain just went bloop. But I think like unrealistic expectations. You could definitely have unrealistic expectations.
I say expectation that can be unreasonable.
Unreasonable?
Yeah, unreasonable.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You used to do it, and we had a discussion, and we had a discussion, and you didn't like the discussion, but you finally understood. You know where I'm going.
Go ahead. I can't.
Because being where we are now, you don't driving.
Oh, yeah.
You always had an expectation of me taking because I
Well,
spoiled.
since we've been here.
Wait. No. You know, when you really think about it, you expected it because from the beginning I've always picked you up, dropped you off.
Since
mostly.
we've been here in the UK, you mean?
No, even when we was in Bermuda, even when we was in the US.
I drove.
No, not all the time. Most times I did pick you up, or even like when you didn't have a car, I let you use my car. So you always expected me to give you a way to get around, right? So like here, then when we got here, yes.
It was more here. I agree.
Yeah, it's more here, but it
more here.
started in the States because when I was living in the States, you expected me to when you used to use your brother's car, and then he took it away because they didn't want you coming to see me. I then gave you my car, and they was like, "Wait a minute, he gave you his car. What kind of man gives you his car?" And they was like, "Wait, huh?" But you expected to always be able to like. You didn't drive a lot because you expected me to drive because I like driving. So your expectation, and that's because I
my
provided
expectation
it.
was that you was okay with picking me up.
Exactly.
So it wasn't unreasonable.
It was unreasonable because then as time went on, you became unreasonable because then you make arrangements for people like,
but that's since we've been here.
But even when it's in Bermuda.
No, I used to.
No.
I used to drive myself.
The only reason why you start driving yourself in Bermuda is when I got into the bike accident and you had no choice. Because if you didn't have a choice, if you had a choice,
because I had to get used to driving on the opposite side of the road.
Hello, let me finish. The only reason why you start driving is when I had the accident and you had to drive to the hospital. That started you driving. Before that, you expected me to come and get you. Be honest.
Well, yeah, I expected
exactly. You expect me to take you to all your rehearsals and everything. And I was like, why can't you drive? I don't feel comfortable driving. I ain't driving. I'm like, but you can drive. And the only reason you started is because you had no choice. Because my mother beat you. My mother, as soon as she found out, because you was both at the same event. It was I'll never forget, it was a Christmas cotillia. And Pedro was in year 5. And you guys, and the accident happens, and then I know they say as soon as my mother knew, she was, you didn't even see, she disappeared. And then you found out. I don't even know how you said you found out. Then you found out and you just.
I got a phone call.
You got a phone call, right. But when you got the phone call, then you had a decision to make at that moment.
Yeah.
Does he expect me to drive and meet him at the hospital?
Right.
Or am I going to have to try to.
Come pick me up? He need to get up off the road. I know he got hit by the car, but he need to come pick me up.
Exactly.
From the school.
You know what the funny thing is? I actually think you thought that for a minute.
like really?
I think you actually thought that.
The nerve to get in an accident.
I actually think you thought that for a minute. I really think you thought that for a minute. Like, I expect him to come get me and bring me so then I can check on him. I really think you thought that. Now that I think about it, I really think you thought that. That's messed up.
I actually didn't.
I guarantee you did think it for a minute.
I promise you I didn't.
Because you was so dependent on, and that part, the dependent, you were so dependent and expecting me to do it. And then we got here, you definitely expect me to, and I'm like, man, I can't. I just been driving like all week. I don't feel like driving here or driving there. So yeah, the unreasonable expectations can sometimes come where you don't think of the other person because you're just so used to it being done.
Yeah.
But part of the problem is that sometimes it happens because the person does it without complaining.
Right.
And they do it, and you don't think of it, and then. You're like, wait a minute, wait. I need a break. And then you're like, why not? Why you don't need a break? Why? I expect you to do it. No, I need a break. So it is unreasonable that's that's an unreasonable expectation. To want something that sometimes you could do on your own.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
That's an unreasonable expectation.
Yeah.
You know? Or even like I say to you, like, because you don't like taking a bus or you don't like taking a train. I'm like, when you used to go to like London. And I was like, babe, you can get on the train and go to London by yourself. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm going to get lost. And then, no, but you don't know unless you try. And I always say to you, try once. And if it doesn't work out, then, and I've always been fair about this. I said, go on the train and try. If you get lost this time and you can't find your way, I will make myself available to take you next time. I've always said that to you. Have I not? So it's not like I just said, go.
And that goes into, now that you said that, dependency, because as I was reading something about dependency, and it says, what does dependence look like in a relationship? Emotionally dependent people may encounter some of these patterns in a relationship, and they cannot bear to be alone, and the physical and emotional distance with their partner represents symptoms of stress and anxiety. And I think for me, when I had to do certain things, I was feeling a bit anxiety or stress, and I'm like, I'm used to Pedro
Unnecessarily.
going with me, at least taking me, so you know what it was? If I got to sing or something, only thing I want to think about is what I got to do. I don't want to have to then think about travel, get on this train, get on this train, get on that, and just thinking about other things other than that. So, it caused me to become stressed. And I think sometimes we did, dependency does that to some people, especially in a relationship that people depend on people to do certain things for
Well, I
them.
mean, in the beginning of the marriage,
So I felt a bit
we
abandoned.
no, but whatever. In the beginning of the marriage, we did depend on each other,
Yeah.
and we set ground rules. We did have a talk about what we was very specific on what we depended dependent on you to do. And
So how would you tell a person? Well, it says right here when I was just looking it up. How do you deal with a dependent spouse? Right, so one that always just do not nag at him or her, I guess, and remain more than one. I'm sorry, do not nag at him or remind him more than one time about what he needs to do. Doing so involves treating him like a child. Which you sometimes say I do, which he is
yes,
not, no matter how he may try to, right? So
Keep
respect
on reading
him.
it. Read it properly.
Okay. So respect him by refusing to do things for him that he is capable of doing if he is so motivated.
There you go.
On his own.
Because you definitely do that to me.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But
not all the time.
Not all the time. So anyway.
And I would say, why you treat me like a child? I'm not treating you like a child. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. No, I don't need you to tell me. I always say to you, see if I'm gonna do it first. Yeah. And if I don't do it, then say, hey, this needs to be done.
Yeah.
But you like, I'm about to do it. I'm literally about to do whatever the task. And you like, don't forget to, and like earlier today when you gave me a facial and I had my eyes closed. And I was like, I had my eyes closed, and then you like, make sure you keep your eyes closed. I'm like, now I want to open my eyes, and I'm like, what? Why? And then you like, well, keep your mouth shut because I don't want to hear your mouth either. And I'm like, what? Okay, no, wait. Like, you didn't have to tell me to keep my eyes closed. My eyes was already closed.
Oh, I don't know. I just told you to keep it closed.
Yeah,
I didn't
because
really get no soap in your eyes.
Whatever.
So that's basically what I was saying.
I can feel the soap.
Well, whatever.
I can feel the stuff. I can feel it all in my eye. Why would I open my eye when I know you're doing that to my, like, oh, let me open. Now my eyes are burning. No.
Yeah.
So, I depend, dependence of each other on a serious note is that, it should be natural and healthy in a relationship. And we should be able to depend on each other with no, definitely with no, what's the word? With no expectation.
Yeah. I think the most dangerous thing is to depend on somebody so much to the point you're like, oh, I can't live without them. That's something that needs to be it's not a good thing.
You can't depend on somebody so much that you can't even do and that's why I try to get you to do your own thing on certain things.
Yeah, that you can't even function.
Because you did, you was able to function, but you was getting close to where you was. For
someone that can't.
No, I'm talking about us. I'm saying you got to a point where you was almost dependent on me for everything.
Was I?
Yes, and it was a lot for me to do because I'm working. Yeah, I'm working, and then I'm also trying to do what I got to do for you, which I did not mind. But every now and then, ease it up a little bit for me. Just make it a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
With the driving, ease it up a little bit for me. Like, you can take the bus, you can take the train, you can take an Uber. I don't care. I'll pay for the Uber. I don't want to take an Uber. No, take the Uber. It'll make it easier for me than me trying to rush back home to then get right home, and then I gotta rush right back out. Like,
yeah, But I'm saying not just that, just driving. I understand that.
No, I'm not talking about the driving. I'm not just talking about the drive. I'm just talking about
make another example.
Okay, depending, like depending on me to when I come home Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was a time when I used to come home, I did the dishes.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Well, the kids started doing the dishes,
Yeah.
which I was like, nah, these kids gonna have to start washing dishes
Yeah, I
because
remember
I was
that.
getting tired, you know.
I remember
But you
that
was
day.
depending on me doing the dishes, which
Well,
I
yeah.
just, which
Well,
no,
wait.
wait. I understand that because I was always doing them,
Well,
or
not just
even
that.
or
Because
even better yet, depending on
after
me.
I have cooked, right?
Hmm.
Because I have washed the dishes before I cook, and then while I'm cooking, I'm washing dishes then too. So it won't be so much dishes after we eat. So now after we eat, that's the dishes then. So me depending on you to wash the dishes for that. Okay, fine. Did I supposed to been wash the dishes that I've been to cooked and everything?
No,
So
I
you
didn't
want me to
say
wash
that.
the dishes too?
No,
So
I expect those. See, but that's the thing.
we
I
wasn't playing a
expected.
part. So that's so was I depending on you to wash the dishes because I haven't been
Yes,
cooked? That's
you
before.
expected me to, and
Yeah,
depended on me
yes,
to.
yes. That's because at the
You did
time the
both.
kids wasn't washing the dishes at the
Well,
time,
that's when I made them start
and
washing
that's when we
dishes.
started later
No,
once
no,
they
we
got a
didn't
little bit
start. I
older.
started.
Well, we I would say we. So either way, the point is,
Sorry,
so did
it's
I
the we and
depend on? So
everything,
you
but
want
not
me
this
to
time.
cook? You want me to stand on my feet,
No,
cook, and
no.
also wash
Ta,
dishes too
ta.
afterwards?
See,
Come
listen
on,
to you. You're getting all irritated
I'm
now.
not
Stop.
irritated. I'm
You
making a
getting all
point,
no. You
and you don't like
know.
it. You
No,
don't like
because
that I'm
that's
making
not
a
true. I
point.
didn't expect any of that.
So what did you expect then? So now you're saying
No.
I only expected for you to wash the dishes. Yes, I did because whether you worked or not, guess what? I worked too,
But
and now but
see,
you eating.
you're not getting it.
So do I
Yeah,
want you to
wait.
wash the dishes?
Could you stop?
Yes.
Could you stop for a minute? Could you stop for a minute? Take a breath and
Okay.
stop.
Breathe.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
We both expected me to do it because of what you had done before. If you did the dishes, I expected myself to do the dishes. I mean, if you did the food cooking, I expected to do the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You depended on me to do it.
And you did too.
That's my point. We
Okay.
both depended on each other. See, that's what I've been trying to say from the beginning, but you went into a whole tirade of what you just talked about. That's what I'm saying. We both expected it, and we both depended on each other to do it.
Mhm.
Just like I depend on you to get up in the morning, get the kids ready, and you depend on
Every
me.
single morning.
Yeah, and you depend on me to put them to bed every single night.
Yes, and but that's our routine. I get
But
up and get the kids ready.
But it's
You
still
take them to
it's
school.
still a dependence
Yeah.
for both of us. We
Mhm.
both have talked about it and have an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all I'm saying. That's a dependence.
Okay.
We depended on each other to do that
Yeah.
because when you have a dependence, you have a natural balance for your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about it, and then you say, "This is what I expect,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I depend on you for." And then you say, "Okay, this is what I'm trying. This is what I can do. This is what I can do."
Mm-hmm.
And then you come to an agreement of what can and can't be done, and then you consistently do it because I know that you depend on me doing it.
Right.
Because at nighttime, you're out after worship. You're out. Even almost at worship, you're fighting. You're almost you're almost gone. You're like in La La Land almost. So we have to make sure we do worship early because you will be like if we do it too late, you're not gonna be there. You're gonna be you're gonna be looking at the inside of your eyelids, which is and this is the thing. I could depend on you to do that because I know you're tired.
That's
So
right.
So I don't get mad about it. That's my point. I don't get mad at you. I'll be like, Todd, wake up. I don't do that. I just say, okay, I know she's tired. So I try, so I depend on that. I can expect that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, it's just so much about dependence that you have. We depend on each other in decision making.
Mm-hmm. Well, some people
Um,
depend on kids. So sometimes I know I depend on you to take the kids to their the appointments, like to the dentist or to the doctor. And
You depend on me for social dependence,
Yeah.
for friends, for like the other day you said we had a meeting and you was like, the meeting starting, where are you at? You was depending on me to be there with you for the meeting.
What meeting?
When we went to London, and I had to take Xenia to
right.
to look for the laptop.
Right.
And we went to the store.
Outside.
And we nipped out real quick because they was taking forever with the food and stuff. So she was like, well, let's go real quick. I was like, I said, I'll be right back. Right. But then we took longer than we thought. And then you because traffic. And then you was like, where you at? Why you not here? So that's social. That, it's like you felt naked by yourself in the meeting. You wanted me there with you.
I did.
Right. So this is a social dynamic.
Because I'm your eyes and you're my ears. So I'm like,
don't even go there. I actually had to put a thing that was while the person was talking it was typing up what the person was saying so she could read it because she was like, I can't hear anything. And they was talking low, so she was like, And I was like, okay, I just put my phone and then so the whole
translation
time
thing.
Tyler's looking at the translation thing on the phone while they're talking, like, okay, that's what they're saying. All right, yeah. Because
That
I'm like,
helped it.
I'm
That
not gonna
helped
keep
me,
reaching
and I
over
helped
like,
it.
they said this and that now.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that because they're talking. That'd be rude and disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much more than anything else, we have to, and there's a difference between dependence and independence.
Okay.
Like I said, that's why we have discussions. So we have discussions on what I depend on you, and then I'd have a discussion on what I feel you could be independent of me doing by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that is a healthy thing for us, because like you just said, I don't want if something was to happen to me, or if I'm not there at the moment, I would want you to be able to do things on your own without me being there. Because then if you all depend on me to do everything, then vice versa, when the time comes, like, like, you're gonna be like, what am I supposed to do? Like, if by chance you have to go out of town, at least I could put the kid's hair in a ponytail.
You cannot put no kid's hair in no ponytail. I bet you can't.
I bet you.
I have never seen you do it.
I've done it plenty.
I have never seen you do it.
Oh, you gonna play me like that on this show?
I am, because I'm telling facts.
Oh, you know what?
But
Okay.
I have never seen you do the kid's hair.
We're gonna go put the kid's hair in a ponytail right now when we're done. That's right.
Yeah.
Give me the brush, give me the cream, and let's go.
Oh my goodness.
No, don't play me like that. Yes, we have. So it's just depending on having independence because we're the same person. We are one, but we are different. So we have to come to that common ground of depending on each other to make sure, and more than anything else, depending on each other to make sure that everything's going to be okay.
Yes, and it's important. It's important for that. So balance to give. So we have to have balance to give and take. We have to trust in working things out. We have to have the ability to say no, even to our spouses sometimes.
That's right.
And we have to feel understood in our relationship. We have to feel understood, and having empathy and compassion for one another. Is really important in the relationship. So we think about those 5 things: balancing or give and take, trust in working things out, ability to say no, and feeling good and understood, and having empathy and compassion, and also fulfillment. It's feeling fulfilled in your relationship, where you're not feeling empty. Nothing is being done, and navigating from conflict to resolution to repair. I think that's important as well. So, yeah, what you think?
I think everything you just said is true.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you just said is facts.
Yep.
So.
And the other thing, I talked about the good things, but the other things is disappointment. We're going to face disappointment in our spouses. And we're going to sometimes feel drained, depending on what it is, right? You feel like, I just don't want to deal with it, type of thing. Or you feeling burned. You can feel burnt out in your relationship.
Oh,
don't you think so?
Yeah.
You feel burnt out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, something else?
That's it. Oh. I'm sorry, I was going and going. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I really believe that as you get older in your marriage, you learn the differences on how you can depend on how you can expect certain things from your spouse.
Right.
You start to learn that some things you're just not going to change. Just some things that you do 18 years ago that you still do now. That even though it gets on my nerves, or even though it may irritate me, I know that that's just you. So therefore, I've learned on how to navigate through that. Yeah. And talk to and say it in a different way, or respond in a different way. So, I almost expect you to act a certain way. So, just like you say to me all the time, you ask me a question, you know how I'm going to respond before you even ask me, but you still ask me anyway. Because before you would, because you're expecting me to act and respect this answer a certain way, you wouldn't ask me. And I used to say, because sometimes I may surprise you and respond a different way. You'd be like, wait, what? Right. But most times I still respond the same way. But every now and then I do throw a little curveball. Same thing for you. Right. Same thing for you.
As I was thinking about you depending and expectation, you depend and expect for me to cook all the time.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't. I appreciate it.
You appreciate it, but you do depend and expect for me to do it.
Say it again?
You do depend and expect for me to do it.
No, I don't.
Because majority of the time, I always cook.
No, I don't. No, that is not true because you know what? If I get home and you haven't cooked, I've gone in the kitchen and cooked something for myself.
Or you go back and take something else.
No, sometimes, but lately I've been coming home and cooking. So like if I come home and you ain't cooked, I'll just go make something.
Yeah.
So I don't expect anything. See that's where you expect me to be mad if you don't cook. And I don't get mad when you don't cook. I get mad when the kids eat all the food and nobody paid attention and I get home and there's no food because that's happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, nobody left me nothing to eat. Your daddy got to eat. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dad. I just didn't realize. Yeah, I know you didn't realize you're greedy, birth. You should, come on. But I don't expect you to do that every day.
Yeah.
You do it every day, and that's why I appreciate you. See, there's a difference. I do depend on you to cook. I do admit that. But I don't.
I just said that.
No, but I don't expect you to cook.
Okay.
You understand? I depend on you to cook, yes, and I appreciate that you cook and have a hot meal for me most nights. But I don't expect it. I don't come home. Like back in the day. The old folks back in the day. They come home. Where's my dinner, woman? I don't come home saying that. That was expectation. That expectation was my food better be ready when I walk through the door. No, I don't expect that. I don't expect that at all because I don't know how your day went. I don't know what I do most times because we're talking on the phone, but I don't know if you got tied up, if you had to do something, or if so I can't sit there and expect it every night. It happens most nights, right?
Yeah.
But I don't expect it. No, I disagree with that comment. Thank you. Just want to point that out because you're trying to blow me up and act like, like I'm demanding or something, and I'm not.
I did not blow you up, first of all. So whatever.
So whatever.
Okay.
You expect me to put the kids to bed every night.
I do.
Okay, which I do.
But yeah.
You expect me to make time to take the kids when they have to go to appointments and things like that.
I do. I admit that.
See, so
absolutely
we all have
do.
expectations, and
We
I
do.
try my best to make that happen. Sometimes it doesn't always happen.
It doesn't, and I'm like,
Yeah, and then you get mad at me like, I expect you to, but no, you see, I can't do it this time. Work would not allow me to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that.
But I've gotten better because back in the day, you couldn't expect me to do anything because even matter of fact, when it was so bad that when I got in an accident and you was pregnant, you wasn't feeling well. I was with my broken bones was giving a kid a bath because you expected me to give them a bath.
I did. You had to heal, and you heal by moving.
Wow.
You heal by moving and keep going.
That
Because
is
if you stay still, you get stiff and it hurt even worse.
What you mean?
So I was helping you. So see you ungrateful.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe.
Okay? I was helping you. I was helping you heal in the most better way. That's probably not even.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god! I can't believe you just said that.
I did.
I can't believe you just said to me that you
did.
actually did that to make sure that I can move.
So you can heal.
So I can heal.
And that's how you heal. You heal by moving. When you're in the hospital,
I just have to sit on a chair.
And then guess what they did? That strengthened your hip. That strengthened your back.
No, it did not.
Yes,
it made me move more. I needed to rest.
And that's the point.
No, I needed to rest.
And you rest afterwards.
No, I needed to rest.
You rest afterwards, honey.
No.
That's what you did, honey. It's okay.
Nah, that's why my hip still hurts to
anyway,
this day.
So now we're gonna be coming to
you.
We're gonna come to our segment now.
No. Wait, no. That's why I need to heal, and I can't. No.
Come on now.
Don't come on nothing.
All right,
I can't believe you
guys.
said that. That's so messed up.
We're gonna hit this air horn. It's up to you right there, honey. So it's time for our segment. Boo boo boo. And this time we're gonna
hit the button.
And this one in our intimate card section of the show. And we're gonna be picking cards today on life. And so with that, I'm gonna pick a card. Pedro's gonna pick a card, and we're gonna discuss it for a short period of time before it's time for us to end this. And here we go. Pick a card, any card.
That's not a.
I know that was the wrong mixture.
Mm.
Okay, and I'm gonna pick one. Okay, so Pedro gonna go first. I think I went first last time.
All right. What book do you believe I would benefit from most reading from?
Read it. Said it again.
It's a question for you. What book do you believe I would benefit most from reading?
You'll benefit most from reading the Bible.
Beyond that, that's
Beyond the
obvious.
Bible. I would say reading something that's gonna help you, like a relationship book, or something that's gonna help you to look at life differently as a man, or something like
Help me
that.
mentally.
Yeah, help you
I
mentally.
think in today's world, I think a book that would be good for me would be something that would help me to be a better husband and father.
Mm-hmm. Like father
And
books or something.
yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just be a better provider, be a better person, just
Yeah.
be a better man.
Like encouragement. Something
Not
like
necessarily encouragement. I
incitement.
think just something to make me think.
Yeah, give you a different perspective.
Yeah, give me a different perspective. Give me something to think. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so mine says, who of my friends or acquaintances do you feel has a negative influence on me? Oh gosh.
That's my question?
Yes.
Who do I think? Your friends?
Yes.
I'm not gonna name no names, but
who is my friends or acquaintances do
Mhm.
you feel has a negative influence on me? No names.
I'm not gonna say no names.
Okay, good.
You already know who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to say that person's name.
Okay.
Yeah, that question I can't ask because we've already got in trouble by this, so I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
how can I put it?
That's just one that's a negative. You got to name one that's a negative and one that's influence.
Oh, ones that's influence?
Yeah.
Oh well,
So
the negative is
someone I already know. The influence is also someone I already know too, but we still not naming names on either one.
Definitely. Let me see.
I don't
the
have
negative,
many friends though.
You do have friends, but
Yeah.
the negative. The funny thing is, the negative friend is a good friend. They just don't know how to get out of their own way.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, they self-absorbed.
Yeah, like and it took, and I used to tell you all the time, and it took a minute to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually a good friend, but they can't get out their own way, and it's just always about them.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes it a little bit difficult,
Yeah.
and it's just some things just don't add up.
Mm-hmm.
Then the influence is definitely, I'm not gonna say a name, but
yep.
I know she helped us both, and she definitely is a good friend.
Yeah.
And she's always positive. She's always encouraging. She's always, if you make a mistake, she's like, "Hey, it's okay. We all make mistakes."
Mm-hmm.
That friend is always there, and even if you don't speak to her for 6 months, when you talk, it's like you never stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just follow up from where you left off.
Yeah.
So you already, that's that friend that is definitely influence, and she'll always be there to our heart.
Yeah.
And like we've dropped everything and traveled to see her at the drop of a hat. When they came to London, we just dropped everything, and I made a family member of mine's mad because I didn't go see them. And then the next thing they know, like, I'm in London. She's like, "Wait, you didn't come see me?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I had to go see this friend."
Yeah.
And she was not happy with me with that. So my friend, my family member was
yeah,
just a little perturbed for a minute with me.
Yeah. But it is.
And if you're watching this, family member, I love you because you know who you are.
Yeah.
I don't have to say no names.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that would be my yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So on that end, we're actually ending a little early this time.
Yes, we are. But we have enjoyed this time about dependency and expectations of your spouse. And what was your takeaway from this?
That I can depend and expect things that I know are feasible to happen, and that I try not to have unrealistic expectations or dependence on you, and that as a couple, we need to depend and expect things from each other, but we just need to talk about it and have an understanding that we know that this is what we're going to do and this is what we can do, so that it just, at least it gives us a framework for what we're working with.
Yeah.
Even after 18 years of marriage, we still depend and expect things from each other.
We do.
And we still have to have a discussion sometimes, because sometimes you can get caught up where you just think, oh, he'll do it. No, you need to have a discussion. You have a discussion with me, or I have to have a discussion with you to make sure that you're okay to do it.
That's it.
Because I don't know, you know, you don't know what my schedule is. I don't know what your schedule is.
Mhm.
You know, even though you're home,
Or even if you want
even
to
if
do
you're
it,
home,
or even if you want to do it at all.
yeah, even if you want to do it all, like even if you're, I know you're home most times. I don't mean that I expect you to do certain things because you're home.
Yeah.
I would still say, hey, I know you're home, but you know, do you think you have a moment to do this for me? But
Right.
you know, like
I
that.
think
It's still,
yeah.
it's giving you the option, and then we can have a discussion on
Yeah.
what you know what I expect.
That's it.
But I definitely always will expect you to love me, care for me,
Of
and
course.
depend on you to love and care on me.
Mm.
But you do that anyway, so
Yeah,
you know.
because
But I depend on that,
that's me.
and that's why with the food I depend on it. Yes, but I don't expect it.
But
I
you
do
know I love to
appreciate it.
feed you, so you know it
Exactly.
is what
So
it is.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it immensely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I said that to you the other day, actually.
Yeah, I love to feed my hubby. But you know, what's my takeaway? Oh, thanks for asking.
Well, I didn't
So
have to. You asked the question, and I'm waiting for you to say
so
what your expectation was.
that's my takeaway. So my takeaway from this is that to be open for change and to know that that change is not always going to be what we expect, and to depend on, and also to depend on to depend that our spouses are going to be a person that you can depend on, but we can't always depend on them for certain things. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's my takeaway from it, is to just be willing to talk to you and ask you, you know, can you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And not expect, you know, and even though I depend on you for certain things, still be mindful that, okay, let me see if this is something that he, you know, like I said, asks. So I think that's a good thing. So
Exactly.
yeah. So just be open for that, and to be able to know that not every expectation or dependency are going to be met all the time. And when that happens, not to be upset about it, to just be
Right.
like, you know what, it didn't happen. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Or do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to be,
I tell you that, but
and
like
when I say
when you
be
irritate
open,
me, I'll be like, you know what, you just do it yourself.
and when I say be open for change, as for me doing things and I'm not doing it with my husband, sometimes it can make me have a bit of anxiety, depending on, especially from traveling. I would say it's my biggest one. So for me, just taking on that and not letting it, you know, overtake me, overwhelm me when it's time for me to do a travel. Because like even when I had to go to France, I hated every minute of traveling by myself.
It was with people.
I know, but I wasn't with them till later. You know what I'm saying? But when I did it, I wanted my dependence on travel is you traveling with me from the beginning all the way to the end, and then all the way from the end all the way back. So that's just me, and I think that's something I have to work on. Excuse me, and not allow that to take over. But yeah. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching at Hear My Marriage Podcast and Adventures Radio London. Yeah, thank you so much. And we can't wait to see you guys again. I'm your host, Tara.
And I'm Pedro.
And we'll see you next time on Hear My Marriage Podcast. Be blessed.
Peace.